What we call boot camp to start with. So we did horse riding in the morning, then we'd go and do dwarf movement, learning how to walk and talk and eat like a dwarf. Then we had stunt training, then we had our individual gym sessions with a one-on-one trainer. And then we sometimes we would go back to the stunt hangar and do a 1.5 hour physical fitness circuit. So we were quite fit back in those days when we were doing it. And we still are. These guys have been going to the gym for weeks.
The gym Jed doesn't need to.
I own my own gym, so it's...
I have an idea, Jed. Why don't we find somebody who'd like to learn how to walk like a dwarf? Just very quickly, we'll give you a lesson.
That's an interesting idea.
What we had to do. A volunteer.
All right. Let's walk you through.
This is Victoria.
Hey Victoria, how you doing? Have you ever been a dwarf before?
I was a dwarf yesterday.
Okay, well we kind of can't, I mean if you've already done it, it's kind of like, you know, it's a bit cheating, isn't it? She's already
She's got to walk. Now,
right.
First we're going to give you an example, because what we had to do, we had to learn. And mind you, we had to learn with great big boots. So first you're going to do a normal walk.
This is a normal walk.
This is a normal walk.
Big round of applause, please. It's not easy walking like a human.
Now I'm going to do a normal walk. You have to do this too, Peter.
Whoa.
Oh no, okay, all right.
It's,
No, okay, so we're going to teach you to walk like a dwarf. This is what we had to learn to do. What you have to think of is that you've got a lot of weight.
a lot of weight in your legs.
Lower your bum down a bit,
Lower
your
your
legs slightly bent, and you've got to sort of
down.
think like you've got really... Okay, you ready? Do it after me. Here we go. Okay.
None of this seems familiar.
Let's get something like it.
That was brilliant. I thought she was great, but I thought William was a bit average, to be honest.
Going solo. Oh, not bad.
No, that's brilliant. A little too much swagger. A little too much swagger. The dwarves don't really have a lot of swagger.
Can you demonstrate?
Peter, demonstrate.
Okay.
This is how you do it without swagger.
Oh, it's been a while.
Get down.
Get down. Now bring your number ones, man. Bring your number ones. Get down, dude.
Bring it down.
Bring it down, dude.
The guy that we work with, that's what he'd say to us.
Get down,
Our
man.
movement coach.
Let's go. Find your number ones, man. Let's go.
Okay, here we go.
Wait for it. Oh, look at that, the master.
I mean, I've seen it a lot, but every time I see it, I get goosebumps. And so that is... Okay, here we go.
Go down, get down.
Yeah.
Get down.
Right.
Down.
That's
That's
great. Brilliant.
Very good.
The remarkable thing is she has learned in 8 seconds what it took us 8 weeks. And I feel just a little bit uneasy about that. I kind of thought what we're doing was quite special, but obviously it's not. Thanks for that, William. Any other great ideas that makes it silly?
So we seriously had to learn that. It seems like it's funny, and it was to us at the time too, but actually we really had to do that because we had to think of all our weight being lower and the fact that we were shorter. So all our costumes are specially designed to make us look like we're much bigger in here and like we're small, and we huge boots that we wear, which actually, strangely enough, when we ended up getting the boots, they did all the work for us, but by that stage we'd actually spent 3 months learning to walk like a dwarf. And then fighting like that as well. So you don't actually, it's not just the walking, it's how you fight and the fact that people, you're used to dealing with people who are up there. Not that dwarves actually worry too much about that, do they, Jed?
No, the other thing is, it's all very well to be stunt training in normal street clothes or a singlet, if you're buff. But when you actually get the costume on, you have this huge fat suit with the shoulders around to here and this ridiculously sized hairdo, which is kind of out to here. All of the stuff that you thought about fighting above your head becomes kind of null and void because you can't do it. You simply can't get a big sword swing because you end up chopping off your own hairdo, which doesn't look great in a fight, believe me. I mean, even the odds are like, whoa, dude, you chopped off your head. Nothing wrong about that. But it all kind of comes from the centre of balances in your belly as a dwarf. It's all kind of in here. And all your punches come from there. It's all kind of in that position.
Oh, that's so
yeah. It's a
when
bit
you
more
fight,
like a punk fight than a street fight.
Yeah. You've got to put your whole body into the fight. You don't just go, It's sort of,
Yeah.
and you've got to, it's fun actually. It's a lot of fun.
One of the images, our movement coach, that's his title, isn't it? One from a man called Nori.
He's the guy who would say, get down, you guys, get right down there.
One of the images he talked about is that we've got a cannonball in our tummies, right? And everything, all the power comes from there. So anything to do with your weight and gravity, we're constantly thinking cannonball. And also the dwarves are very connected to the earth and all the power that comes out of the ground and stuff like that. So there's a whole sort of mindset about it, as well as just kind of movement. It's all about an attitude.
It's important to note that I'm not worried too much about that, it's important to note that the dwarves that we play in Tolkien's dwarves, we don't think we're small. We dwarves in our dwarves in the film, we think that we're the normal size and that everybody else is abnormal. So dwarves are a very, very proud, strong race. So whenever we're dealing with some like elves who are bigger than us, instead of looking up at them like that, we always have this vision of them. We'd always just raise our eyes at them because we're thinking, you belong down here where we are. We don't belong up there where you are. You're the abnormal one. We're not.
Isn't that like life though? Don't we all think that about ourselves? I certainly do.
Questions?
Great question though, sir.
Have we answered your question? Somewhere in there?
They don't all have to be intelligent questions.
No, they can be dumb
They can be
questions.
just silly. Or you could just leave.
Oh, here we go.
How long does it take to put makeup on you?
Depending on the amount of hairdo that you had and the amount of wiggage, around about 2.5 hours. Yeah. They got it down, I mean, it started out being a bit longer, then as we went through it, the prosthetic artists got faster at doing it and they got more comfortable with the paint design and the consistency. It took a lot less, but initially it was 2.5 hours. And for me, because of my elaborate hairdo, 2.5 days. So I only shot every 4th or 5th day. Yeah.
What they do is they allow an hour and a half to do the prosthetic, and then 45 minutes to do the hair, and then about another 30 minutes to do the costume. So every morning. We had some early starts, 4:15. What was your earliest here?
4 o'clock, 3:30.
3:30 in the morning. So it's a fairly big deal, and then a 16-hour day.
William is a very skilled technician at the approach to the makeup process, and he has actually developed the skill of going to sleep in the makeup chair. I hugely admire him because I could never do that. You really want to.
You do, it's
4:30 in
fantastic.
the morning, but
I can show you what it looks like.
He's forgetting the snore. Actually, it's a real skill when somebody's dabbing away in your eyes to do that. So I'm proud
and
of
for
that.
a lot of it, I mean, maybe you can snooze and go off somewhere, go to a happy place. But for a lot of that time, you've got to be responsive to the makeup artist and close your eyes, open your eyes, shift position, hold still, you know. So it's you're not basically sitting on your ass for 2 hours. You're working in a sense. You're passive, but you've got to be alert and responsive to the process.
Because otherwise, if they say, does it hurt when I do this, and you're asleep, I mean, they don't get an answer, so they just keep doing it. And you would wake up in pain every day, not knowing why they'd stuck that thing in your eyeball. But, you know, it's kind of up to you.
I had an axe in my head. That's why I was.
And that was no accident. I'll be here all day.
Throw money. Any other questions? Yes.
Your character doesn't speak the same time as everybody else. Did you learn the actual Dwarvish language?
I did. We all learnt a bit. They supplied us all with a series of sayings in Dwarvish, but yes, my character. What they'd actually do is sometimes I'd want to say a line.
Sometimes I would want to say a line, and I would actually ask the dialogue people, and they would contact the guy in the UK who would write me the Dwarvish version of that line overnight and give it to me the next day. And then it might not end up in the movie, but that's not the point. The point is, it was still an amazing thing. So yes, we all got some dwarvish, and I've got quite a bit, but Jed won't let me bloody say it because